Okay, we good. It takes me 100 years to figure it out. So I'll pin your screen. Yeah.
Okay, so make no promises that you won't hear like the pitter patter of little children's feet, but if they decide to join us, I guess we'll make do. And I see your pups are running around too, so that's fun. They won't be the only little feet then. Okay, so I'm gonna just move it to the screen where I can see everyone, or at least some of us. And I really want to be mindful of your time. So we're going to try to keep it to a half an hour. So maybe I'll just start with introducing myself. So I'm Tara Duin. I am a high school teacher, but I also teach yoga and bar at a studio in my small town of Ingersoll. I used to also teach at Modo in Brantford and Movati in Brantford for a really long time. So I've been kind of doing this thing off and on between having my kids for a long time. And yeah, I'm really grateful to Deanna for asking me to be part of this challenge this month that you guys are doing. I think it's so important that we are able to take the time to really check in with ourselves. Myself included, we're all in this sort of like busyness of the month. And with a lot of other just things going on, right? In terms of like the world, there's a lot going on in our world right now. So anytime that we can take a half an hour to just like recenter, refocus, and sort of turn inwards for a little while, give ourselves a little bit of peace, I think that's really important. So I thought the practice that we would do today would be something that would be fairly simple in terms of a yoga practice, but my intention was to make it a practice that you could sort of do anywhere. So if you were, taking 5 minutes away from the family because you just needed to like regroup, or if you were at work or sitting in the car or something like that, I thought that this would be a practice that maybe you could do sort of anywhere. And that's a great thing to have this month, right? Some tools in our back pocket in case we just need to take a break from the chaos and take a breather for 5 minutes. So that is the practice I'm going to lead you through today. So I won't actually have you in Shavasana at all in this practice because I'm mindful that we won't always have a space where we can fully lie down. But of course, I would always encourage you at the end of any yoga practice, beginning often as well, but at the end for sure, if you have the space, to take a Shavasana and give yourself that time to just be still and breathe. So we're going to start in a seated posture. As you can see, I'm sitting on a yoga bolster. You can sit on a cushion, any kind of like rolled up towel, blanket, anything that you have, or the floor is fine. I just find that this makes it a little bit more comfortable to be seated for a little while when we can get our hips up a little bit higher than the knees. And then we're just going to close the eyes. You can rest your hands on tops of your thighs or knees, just wherever they sort of naturally rest. And we're going to start to take a few deep breaths in. The reason that we close the eyes is so that we can turn the focus inwards. So you're just going to close your eyes and start to draw the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And then as you start to breathe, just bring your awareness into the space that you're sitting in. And maybe just start to notice the different sensations. So what is it that you feel? Maybe you feel your sits bones connecting down to whatever it is you're sitting on. Maybe you feel your spine growing tall, the crown of your head reaching to the sky. Maybe you are hearing the sounds around you, wherever you might be, the sounds of your home or your pets or your kids or your colleagues, coworkers, whatever it is, just notice. Maybe you notice the sensations of the air on your skin. So whether it's warm or cool, wherever you're seated. And there's just taking a moment to set an intention for your practice. So whatever it is that you're hoping to bring in and cultivate in this 30 minutes. So maybe it's just a sense of peace or stillness, or maybe just 20 minutes to be alone in your day. Maybe this is the only chance you'll have to really just be alone with yourself and your thoughts. And just noticing where your thoughts are today. And with each breath, can you try to still the mind? This doesn't mean that we don't think about whatever it is that pops into our brain, but we just notice the thoughts as they come up. We almost treat them like waves, right? Like a wave comes in, wave goes out, thought comes in, thought goes out. And then maybe turning your focus back to that intention and trying to allow that intention to be your primary thought. So if the brain goes somewhere, you come back to the breath and you come back to the intention. And then we'll slowly start to blink the eyes open. And then we're going to start to move with our breath. So we'll take an inhale, start to lift the chest and sort of arch your back. So it's almost like you're going to draw your chest through your shoulder blades. And then as you exhale, you're going to round. So you're going to allow your belly button to draw towards your spine. You're going to draw your shoulder blades back. So you're puffing up the space between your shoulder blades. And then again, inhale, lift the heart, lift the chest. And exhale, round back. Inhale to lift. Maybe you lift the gaze slightly. And then exhale, rounding back, maybe tucking the chin slightly. And taking 2 more breaths like this. Big inhale breath. Lift and fill up the space in your chest. Exhale, round and empty out that breath fully. One more time, inhale. And then exhale. And then we'll come back to a tall spine. We're just going to take some circles around with the body. So you can keep your sits bones rooting down. Circle in whatever way just feels natural for you to begin. So again, we're creating that puffing between the chest, circling to the side, the rounding, and then the side. And then we'll switch direction. And so this way might feel funny because it wasn't the way that you were inclined to go. And then we'll come back through center. We're just going to take a couple of stretches for the neck here. So start to drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. And then you can either just stay like this, or you can gently take your right hand, bring it towards the left side of your head, and just really, really gentle, maybe add a little bit of pressure. And as you breathe here, try to drop that left shoulder down, create a little bit more space in the neck. And then we'll release that right palm and draw the head back through center. Same thing other side. So left ear will drop to your left shoulder. And then maybe just staying here or taking your left hand, bringing it onto the right side of your head. And just really, really gentle if you're applying pressure here. Big breath. Release the left hand and start to draw the head back through center. Okay, and so we're going to do the same kind of thing, but just slightly different. So start to take your right ear towards your right shoulder, and then you're going to turn your chin down towards your right shoulder. So now you're looking somewhere beyond your right shoulder. And then maybe with your left hand, you start to walk your fingertips out onto the floor. So you're reaching away from you. So you'll likely feel this in the neck, but possibly also down into the top of your shoulder. And the more you reach that hand away, walk those fingertips away, the longer you will feel that stretch. And then again, we'll just soften the hand, draw the chin back through center. And same thing, left ear to left shoulder. Start to turn the chin down so you're looking at the shoulder or just beyond it. And then we'll take the right hand, reach it away from us. Maybe the fingertips will reach the floor. Maybe you walk them away from you. Inhale, breath. Exhale, breath. One more big inhale. And then starting to release the right hand, start to draw the chin back through center. Good, and then lastly, we're just going to tuck the chin down towards our chest. And as you do this, I want you to take a big inhale, draw your shoulders up by your ears, take them back, and then slide them down. We're going to do a couple rounds of our shoulders like that with our chin just tucked. So up with the shoulders, pull them back, pull them down. Maybe 2 more times like this. Up, back and down. And then we'll draw the chin back into the middle. All right, and so we're gonna start to take this same side stretching into the side body. So right fingertips are gonna reach for the floor. You're gonna inhale the left arm up. And then as you exhale, reach up and over, planting that right palm down, or maybe the forearm even comes down to the floor. This really depends on your flexibility. So the goal here is to really keep your left sits bone rooting down into the floor, just as even as your right. And then as you're reaching up and over with that left arm, you're dropping your left shoulder down away from your ear. Now, with the fingers, they can be relaxed, or you can actually spread the fingers wide. And this spreading of the fingers actually helps to release serotonin to the brain. This is a mood booster. So if you want to increase your good mood today, spread your fingers nice and wide. And then taking one more breath here. Exhale that breath out. And then on an inhale, we'll come back through center. Good. Release the left palm down, reach your right arm up. Big inhale breath. Exhale, we tip. So again, either the left palm or left forearm is going to come down onto the floor. We're going to keep working to root down through our right sits bone. Drop the right shoulder down away from your ear. And then keep reaching out of that side. And then notice as you breathe, all the space that you can create between the ribs. Big inhale breath. Exhale breath. One more time, big inhale, reaching. Exhale, softening. And then we'll inhale to come back through center and just relax the palm down. Good. Okay. So from here, we're going to take the hands onto the floor in front of us. We're going to come up to all fours. So you might just need to move your block or bolster, whatever you had that you were sitting on, out of the way. And so we're going to start with just some stretches for the wrists. So you're going to make sure that your fingertips are pointing to the top edge of your mat. Your knees are stacked directly beneath your hips. And then we're just gonna take some circles around. So you're gonna shift your shoulders, almost like you were drawing a circle around your palms. And then we'll switch direction there. Okay, and then we're gonna flip the palms a little bit. So we're gonna turn the fingers outwards. So left fingertips are looking to the left edge, right fingertips are looking to the right edge. The arms don't need to be right together. You can have a bit of space between them. And then same thing, we'll just circle a little bit here. And switch direction. Good, and then we'll flip the fingers back towards the body now. So the palms are still down, but the fingertips are facing towards you. And for this one, we're gonna do it a little bit differently. So you're gonna start to lean your weight towards, like bringing your bum towards your heels, but we won't go all the way. So you wanna keep a little micro bend in the elbow, so we're not locking out the elbow. And if the palm starts to lift off the mat, then you just stop there and you keep the palm fully rooted down into the mat. And then we can sort of rock a bit forward and come back, keeping the heel of the hand connected to your mat. Gentle rock forward and back. Good. And then lastly, we want to step the knees nice and close to the hands. You're going to lift the palms. Just give the hands a little shake. And then you're going to reach your right hand out like you were going to have somebody give you a kiss on the hand. So you're just going to flip your fingers down. And then with your left hand, you'll just apply really gentle pressure to the palm. Okay, so you should get a little bit of a stretch into the forearm here as well. Okay, then we'll release that side. You can shake it out. Left arm, same thing. So point the fingertips down. Really gentle pressure here, like sort of in the middle of the top of your hand. Good, and then we'll release that out. You can give them a shake. And then we're gonna bring the palms onto the mat, just stacking the knees beneath your hip bones. And we're gonna start to circle through the hips and the upper body. So this is a little bit like cat-cow, but it's more of a circular motion. So you're gonna start to take your gaze over your right shoulder, like you were looking towards your right hip bone. Okay, we're just gonna start this way. So you're looking to your right, looking towards your right hip bone. Come back through center. And then you're gonna take your gaze to the left. So again, looking towards your left shoulder or left hip bone. Okay, one more time on the right. And then one more time on the left. So as you can see, we've sort of got this sway now from side to side, right? We have right, we have left. Now we're gonna add on what would be like a cat and cow. So take a big inhale, lift the gaze, lift the heart through the shoulders, lift your tailbone. Now look towards your right. Good, now you're gonna round up like an angry cat, puff up the space between your shoulders, tuck your chin down. And now you're gonna look towards your left. Inhale, lift the gaze, lift the heart, lift the tail through center. Look to the right. Exhale, round. Look to the left. So you can start to make this motion a little bit quicker. Right, round, left, and lift. And now you can feel that you've sort of got this like circular motion happening here. And then as you sort of start to feel, just allow your body to kind of go the way that it sort of naturally wants to go. Your head might even start to circle a little bit here. So you might let it hang and then circle around. And then we'll come back through center. And here's going to be the really tricky part, is that now we're going to try and take it the other way. Okay, so we're going to look to the left and round, look to the right, and then arch. Good. And then again, you can keep sort of moving in that way. And if you get stuck or you feel like you're not flowing quite the way that you'd like to, come back, just say it to yourself: left, round, right, and arch. Okay, when you've had a few moments to circle in that way, we'll come back through center. Good. Okay, so now we're gonna take the right arm, we're gonna reach it up. We're gonna open up the chest to the right side of our mat. And then exhale, just release that right palm down. Inhale, reach your left arm open. Exhale, release the left palm down. Inhale, reach the right palm open. Exhale, reach your right arm underneath your left, but don't let it land. It's just reaching. One more time, inhale, reach it open. And then exhale to release the right palm down. Same thing on the left. Inhale to open. Exhale to reach under. Inhale to reach open. Exhale to release the palm down. And then last time, inhale, reach the right palm open. Exhale, reach it under. This time we're going to bring the back of our shoulder down onto the floor. The right side of our head will rest onto our mat. We're reaching that right arm underneath our left. Now with the left hand, you can keep that left hand planted on your mat, or you can start to reach the left fingertips to the top edge of your mat, or probably they'll walk beyond your mat. And then you can tent up the fingers on the left hand. So you're coming right onto the tops of your fingertips on that left hand. And you'll get a nice stretch through the underarm on the left side. Take one more breath here. And then we'll walk that left hand back in, plant the palm down, press into the left palm to slide your right arm back out, reach it open, and then release the right palm down. Good. Left arm reaches open. Slide the left arm underneath the right. Bringing the left side of your head down onto the mat. And then again, you can either stay right here or walk your right fingertips out beyond the top edge of your mat. Tent up the fingers, coming right onto the tips of your fingers. And then just breathe here. Big inhale breath. Empty the exhale. And then we'll bring the right palm back in, place it back down on the mat, press into that right palm, reach your left arm open, and then release that left palm down. Good. And then we're just gonna cross our ankles and sit back onto our bum. I'm gonna scooch back a little bit closer here. So from here, we're gonna take our left leg and extend it straight out in front of us. And then you're gonna bring your right foot, the outer edge of your right foot is gonna cross on top of your left thigh. So you have a couple of options here. If you have very tight hips, you may choose to stay right here and work on allowing that right knee to open towards the floor, okay? You're going to bring your hands behind you if you want to take this a step further. So using your hands behind you as a second spine to keep you tall, you're going to start to bring your left foot onto the floor. Now, this is a choose your own adventure because the closer you bring that left foot into the body, the deeper the stretch you're going to create. So you can bring the foot as far or as near to your body as you choose. But what I would ask you to remember is to keep lifting through the chest, almost like someday you might bring your chest right towards your right shin. So we're using the hands behind us to help us continue lifting through that proud chest. Now, as you breathe here, allowing the right knee to fall away from your body, you may choose to sort of rock a little bit onto that right glute and then rock to the left glute. So you can sort of roll through the hips here, right and left. This will give your sits bones a bit of a massage. And then we'll come back through center, straighten out that left leg, uncross the right, and just give them a little wiggle. And then we'll take that same posture on the other side. So you're going to cross the outer edge of your left foot on top of your right thigh. Stay there for a breath. Just see how this side feels. Often we have one side of our body that tends to be tighter than the other. So you can do a completely different posture on one side than the other if that's what the body requires. So then from here, maybe starting to bring that right foot in, stepping it onto the floor. You can keep the hands behind you to support lifting through the chest, keeping that tall, proud spine. And then as you breathe, keep the flex in your left toes and your left ankle here. Guide the left knee away from you. And then maybe taking it to that rocking from side to side. Okay, and then again, we'll slowly start to release that right leg out, uncross the left, give the legs a little wiggle. And I can see we're nearing the end of the half hour already. I don't know how it always goes by so quickly. We're gonna do one last posture. So similar to the last, just step both feet onto the floor. And we're just gonna windshield washer the knees side to side. So the more you really allow yourself to rock all the way over onto that hip, the more of a twist you're going to get, particularly if you really focus on keeping your shoulders square on the mat and only allowing the hips to roll. Okay, so when you don't have the space to do a spinal twist, this can be a really nice option, at least to help you release the low back a little bit and through the hip flexors. Okay, we're gonna do one last posture and then I will set you up for a quick goodbye. So we're gonna come back onto the knees. As you can see, we've been working our way through the body. So I don't wanna leave out the feet because they're the most important part of the body and they're the most often neglected, okay? So I'm gonna turn sideways just so you can see what's happening with my feet, but you guys can stay just as you are. So I'm going to curl my toes under, and then I'm going to start to walk my hands back, and I'm going to sit my hips right onto my heels, and then I'm just going to stay here and breathe. So I'm focusing on spreading the toes wide, okay? This helps to stretch through the toes, the arches, and I know it's not a comfortable position to stay in for a long time, But the more that you practice this posture, the easier it will get, and your feet will really thank you. Especially because we shove our feet sometimes into shoes that are too tight all day and things like that. Our toes get really cramped. So unless you get a lot of pedicures where they put those things between your toes, you probably don't spend a lot of time stretching out your toes. All right, so we're gonna walk the hands forward. You're gonna uncurl the toes and then just tap out the feet. Okay, and normally I would do that twice in every class because it's the one that everybody hates, but today we're just gonna do it the once. You're lucky today. So for our last posture, we're gonna bring the soles of the feet together, and we're gonna bring the legs into a diamond shape. So the feet will come a little bit further away from the body, so not in Baddha Konasana, but away. It'll look like a diamond with your legs. And then we're gonna start to walk the hands or the forearms underneath the legs. Bring your palms down onto the floor and just allow your head, neck, and shoulders to round, folding forward over the legs. Start to take some deep breaths in, coming back to that intention. You'll notice we kept everything in our practice today in a very confined space. We didn't need a lot of room in order to do any of these postures, but they offer so many benefits to the body, to the mind, when we need to just slow down, take a break, turn inwards. Particularly this posture, any kind of forward fold, is a great one for helping you to bring your attention and your focus inwards. It's very grounding and calming. Take 2 more breaths here. And at the end of your second breath, you can start to walk your arms back out from underneath you. You can either keep the legs as they are or bring yourself back into a cross-legged position. And just sitting with a nice tall spine, feeling the sits bones rooting down. We'll take one big inhale to reach the arms up overhead, bringing the palms to touch and drawing them to the center of your chest. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thanks for having me, Dee. And I hope you guys really enjoy the rest of your challenge. And if you ever want to find me, like I said, I teach at a small studio in Ingersoll called Cure. That's K-U-R-E. I teach there every Monday night, barre class and yoga class. And yeah, that's where you can find me, or if you're trying to reach me, Dee can put you in contact. Dee, I'll maybe unmute you so you can say whatever you might want to add here.